Yesterday, we saw this government doing what they do best. They sent goons to attack Irungu Nyakera's Fairways hotel in Kisumu, and this is the subsequent footage that was captured. Now in this video, I want us to look into some of the reasons why Fairways Hotel was attacked by those goons you just saw in that video. And so with no further ado, let's get after it. Reason number one for the attack is alleged rent arrears. Just have a look at this letter from the Lake Basin Development Authority, LBDA, and I quote. They start off by letting everybody know their authority by saying the Lake Basin Development Authority is a government agency established under Cap 422 of the laws of Kenya. On to the issue at hand, a history of chronic default. The relationship between LBDA and Fairways Hospitality Kisumu was strictly a commercial landlord-tenant matter governed by a lease agreement signed in 2019 following continuous rent defaults by Fairways. Fairways entered into a voluntary consent agreement on June 3, 2025 where it unequivocally admitted to an indebtedness of 27.4 million. The consent provided for terms of payment of the rent then outstanding and the default terms thereto. Copy of consent attached. Despite this formal acknowledgement, Fairways systematically breached the repayment terms and failed to honor the repayment plans. It goes on to say Fairways has failed to pay the current rent from May 2025 to date, with total outstanding arrears now exceeding 25.9 million. Chronicle of Judicial Monkey Games, which is the next issue they're raising here. LBDA wishes to highlight their Fairways' calculated misuse of the judicial system to frustrate the lawful recovery of rent. When LBDA commenced lawful distress of rent, Fairways rushed to the High Court of Kisumu, obtaining ex parte status quo orders. The orders were obtained through material non-disclosure of the serial defaulting on its rental payment obligations. Long story short, they are saying these guys have not been paying rent, and then when we try to evict them, they rush to the court to get ex parte orders, allowing them to continue staying in the facility, and they're doing it without exposing that they owe rent. Be that as it may, why send goons? You see, this was a civil matter. You are a tenant, you owe me money, pay me my money. It's a civil matter. The moment now you have sent goons, it becomes a criminal matter. There is a criminal here. Vandalism, theft, some people were shot. All that culminates in goonism. Failing to pay rent is not a crime, it's a misdemeanor. And so the sender of these goons might find themselves owing this other person damages worth more than even the rent, or even it could be worth a third of the rent. So they're putting these monkey games in perpetual motion. You will now start demanding your rent, they will start demanding their damages. This was not the smartest move, guys. Now the second reason behind this attack is possible tribalism. I mean, we're already seeing it in Nairobi. All the roadside demolitions are only taking place in Githurai, Roysambu, and such like places. How comes Mathare, Kibera, and the others are not being touched? That's food for thought right there. Anywho, here's Riggy exposing what's happening in Nairobi, and I also suspect it's also exactly what's happening in Kisumu. Roll the tape.
At the risk of being called tribal, we raise issues of humanitarian concerns that are taking the style of targeted ethnic profiling of the Kikuyu, Embu, and Meru communities in Nairobi that is well calculated to rip them off economically by the Kenya National Highways Authority, the Nairobi Governor Sakaja, and William Ruto. I want to say that what is taking place in Nairobi is ethnic profiling that has targeted the people from the Mount Kenya region for destruction, economic ruin, and improvement.
This hate in tribalism seems to have expanded way beyond Nairobi, because now they don't even want people from Mlima Kenya to own any property in Kisumu, which is why Fairways Hotel of Irungu was attacked and vandalized. And what these thugs must know is that hata mfukuze wa Kikuyu wote huko kwenu, at the end of the day, even Ramogi FM is owned by Royal Media Services, which is owned by SK Macharia, a Kikuyu. So getting rid of a Kikuyu is not a small task as some people might think. And by the way, all the locals who are hired to work there, this morning they have woken up jobless. So is the billionaire Kikuyu Irungu Nyakera the one suffering, or is it the local community, the Wafula and Omondi, who is working in that particular hotel? Those are the questions we must ask ourselves before we are recruited as goons. Now, who's behind all this? According to some Kenyans, some are speculating that Raymond is the one who sent these thugs. Just have a look at this tweet, for instance, and I quote, "No Kenyan should go through what Irungu Nyakera is facing. He has invested billions in his Fairways hotel in Kisumu. There is a legal battle with the owners of the building over rent arrears accumulated during the COVID period, and he is almost clearing the balance. Also, he has an active lease. But paying goons to vandalize and steal his properties is the lowest level Raymond can go, only because he wants to take over the building. And to the ones who Ruto called Wapumbavu, what is is the connection between goons and rent? If you have defaulted on rent, you are auctioned and not involving goons, ama kuna mwenye ameshindwa kulipa rent Kibra akatumiwa goons. Kikuyus, like all other Kenyans, have a right to own and do business in all parts of Kenya. Anyone's political stand and tribe should not be used as a means of who should rent government buildings. I concur with that statement, but what say you guys? Do drop me your comments in the section below and I'll do my best to read them and to give you a response. So with that, here today's ads of the day. If you're in need of electrical wiring, solar installation, or electrical fittings such as strip lights, snake lights, downlighters, or chandeliers, contact Engineer Wycliffe at 0707 476602 and he'll get your house dapped up.
Right now, I'm with my team headed to a client's house in Ruto for consultation. That is to take measurements of the windows, go through our catalog with the client, and then once they decide on the color and the fabric they want, we'll get busy sewing, and at long last, the curtains installation will be on us. So if you're looking for curtains, shears, curtain rods, curtain accessories, reach out to Phoenix Curtains and Interior Decor and we will sort you out. Call us on 0724 414153.
If you're here for the first time, please go on and hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching for a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for David Wafula. Hit the subscribe button, you're going to be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really need to subscribe to. Alright guys, adios. Thank you for choosing David Wafula as your primary news platform. We put countless hours in research, recording, and editing. By showing up each and every day to watch our videos, you encourage us to generate more videos for the viewers. We are on a mission to inform, educate, and build a better tomorrow. To our thousands of followers in a world full of presidents, kings, and queens, you are the real gem. Adios.